I was wondering what your stance is on government-funded extracurriculars and music programs in schools. Do you feel that it's necessary for providing the overall quality of education, or do you feel students should focus more on raising their standards of study?
I think the extracurriculars are hugely, hugely important. And so whether it's band or drama or art or chorus or a sports team or academic decathlon or chess or debate, I think those extracurriculars can't be more important to helping you stay interested in school and develop your unique interests and sense of self-esteem.
Schools across the nation are being faced with budget cuts and have no other way to raise money. Programs and staff have been cut in order to put money into the classroom.
Cuts started off as far as they could from the actual classrooms, and as we've moved along, they've become closer and closer and closer to actually affecting what's going on in the rooms.
Things such as sports, music, safety, and transportation are being cut first, resulting in a worse school experience.
But they're increasing the number of contacts that teachers have with students, which of course, the larger the classes, oftentimes the effect is that the educational process is diminished somewhat.
In California, Prop 30 was a big deal to everyone in the education system, saving high school athletics. Even after being passed, there is still over $15 million left to pay by California schools.
So we really haven't seen the content standards be cut because of the cuts, but we have seen, again, elementary level in particular, we've seen larger class sizes. We've seen slightly larger class sizes at middle and high school levels.
Over the past 3 years, over 30,000 teachers in California alone have been laid off.
And again, as we look down the line and we look at elementary, they went from 20 students per class, grades K through 3, and 35 kids from grades 4 to 5. Those classrooms were more severely affected because of the size of their classes. As we move into next year, who knows what we may be looking at.
When class sizes grow, things become problematic.
Classrooms that are smaller, we have trouble even getting all the desks in sometimes into classes that are not made for the number of students. We're in a situation where a teacher signs a waiver and they have a class that's larger than 39 students, and it becomes very problematic.
In California itself, many schools have been closed down, including local elementary schools. As teachers are leaving the school, class sizes skyrocket, presenting problems to the school system.
It is interesting to see that we are up to our capacity in terms of the size of some of our rooms.
Long Beach Polytechnic High School, named the #1 sports program in the nation by ESPN in 2011, has had major cuts to the athletic department.
Well, one of the main things that has affected is kind of transportation issues. The district is no longer funding transportation to athletic events, and so that means the school is paying for all of the transportation costs to any of the events that any of the sports teams are attending.
One of the largest problems with cuts in athletics is the transportation to sports event.
Progresses throughout the Moore League and in the CIF and into state events, that number or that cost can be very high and very expensive.
Because of transportation issues, parents are forced to fill in as athlete transporters to sports events.
Carpool and students are carpooling to certain events, so it is a little bit of a strain, for the athletic programs with the budget concerns.
Not only is transportation an issue, but teams are forced to use old and beat up equipment.
Because we don't have all of the necessary equipment that every team would like to have. I think we have the bare necessity to, perform within our, for each program to perform, efficiently. but I'm sure that there are a lot of other equipment requests that teams would like,
Sports medicine and athletic trainers not only help our coaches, but they help the coaches watch over the players.
Direct money towards would be our sports medicine program, our athletic training program, upgrading that equipment, supplies, because training supplies are very expensive. If we can have a sufficient amount of supplies for our training program, which would service all our sports, that's where a good portion of that extra money.
Because the district can't pay for sports programs, the teams are forced to raise money on their own.
Well, a lot of the programs are trying to solicit donations, doing fundraising activities. I think every program here is doing some type of fundraising program to help their program sufficiently, work throughout their season. Their advantage is that, and first and foremost, is probably has to do with the wealth. The way they raise money, how they can raise money, they can charge for tuition. They can charge for specific things within their schools that we can't do in a public school. The dominant schools in athletics are probably more affluent schools and have more people who donate to their programs.
Today's coaches in high school sports do it for the love of the sport, not for the pay. Or coaches.
Well, the athletic training, all that right now, we have the basic necessities for a high school program. Great. I think coaching, a lot of the coaches here at Poly High School coach for very little or for free. It's a lot of the coaches do that because the love of this high school, the tradition. So a lot of them, do that out of the kindness of the heart and, the commitment they have to Poly High School. Down the line, it may be that sports might be only a varsity, it might be only a varsity issue at that time, where lower level sports might be cut out. If we continue with the cuts that are supposed to happen, then we may only have just the availability of varsity sports.
Extracurriculars are extremely important to almost every student and athlete across the world, and in many cases are the prime sources why these students and athletes are willing to continue to go to school each day.